Hey, maybe we're nervous.
You're live.
We're live. It is the conference committee on H.493, May 6th. Continuing from earlier session today, the Senate has a few things that we'd like to run through. Some things we're just kind of restating what we said, but we conferred on it. We wanted to stay with the labor board at one of the two positions. The B-Tech business assistant, we are willing to go down to 550,000.
Where are you?
The tech business assistance program.
SB,
I
or
don't
whatever.
know. It is right down the line.
To what?
550. The Sustainable Jobs Fund will agree to your 25 increase because you're so into spending extra money. I had a question. Did we agree? Did the House agree to the $100,000 money back in for the military guard
No,
tuition? Oh, you didn't. Okay, I thought we had done.
No.
Okay, and then is that the same with the tuition advantage on line 33? You didn't agree to that either.
no, we did agree. to-
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
Okay, but not the guard
Right.
tuition.
We were kind of thinking that maybe that could be added at budget adjustment. 100,000. Because then we'd have more data.
Okay.
It's for a whole year.
We're talked about moving the ag funds, the ag security fund down to 500K. Being part of the move for October with other one-times. We already kind of said this, but we do think it would be better to move the 4 million for the education transition to the ed bill, the ed transition, whatever we're calling that bill, the ed bill. We did find, see this how we're saving money. Representative Shai, that we're going to move the Irish Trade Commission. We took off some of the people, so there's less money. So it's removed for 15 to 10K.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. We also we couldn't remember if we agreed to the Senate position on the Montreal Trade Office at 150K. I can't
No.
remember if the House, you had taken it all down, and we really thought it was important to keep the just.
Right, and so what we were trying to find out, and that's what I was trying to figure out while we were meeting the last time, is because sometimes it turns out that there's stuff in base and then we're adding to it.
Right.
That's, we've learned that from other places.
Yeah.
So I was trying to get clarification on that. And we've since learned that, that the 150 would be the 150. And I think, did we talk about, it seems to make sense to keep that, but we would want more than one time, not in base,
Okay.
which is where it's been in the past.
Line 20, is it not? It's not.
28.
Line 28. Oh, but it's not.
Yeah, it's in base.
It's in.
We would move it to
Okay.
one time. If you move it to one time, then we would agree to that, which is where it's been all along until now.
It's been in one time.
Yes,
Okay. Well, we'll check in back with you on
okay.
that.
I think we can all agree that this is the wrong time for us.
Yeah.
We love Canada.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll just make that public.
I'm looking at the lights above your head. And we're one of the few places that Hydro-Quebec is not charging 10% tariff.
I thought it was all canceled, but anyway.
You're gonna like this proposal, and this is to keep the LCI 30,000, but to move it into the tourism and marketing budget. And there could be language that clarifies that that's where it belongs, and if next year they would have to propose it. Gonna be
This is keep well.
one.
The Lake Champlain International Fishing Derby.
Or you can.
So you're basically adding it to base.
Well, it could be one time, but in the
Okay.
tourism marketing.
Okay.
Probably should be base. I mean, it's a
I don't think it should be based.
it's a really popular family.
Well, I know, but I don't know that it should
And
be.
it draws lots of tourists.
Lots of great things. I don't need to, something on that's a great program. That's not really what the issue is, but I think moving into the tourism budget is good. We'll talk about it, but I would say we leave it at one time, but then it would be under tourism and marketing, and they'd have to pick it up from future years.
Right, and maybe next year they'll recommend 300,000 for it. That's because it'll.
Then it would be coming from the administration on what they're doing. But
Yeah.
it's not in the administration's budget.
The farm to school grants that were not, or the House decision didn't happen to move that to 750,000 from the million that it was in.
That's backfilling federal funds.
Well, it's supporting like supporting our farms to give the monies to the school. I think they have used some USDA money for the program, but we don't see it that way. That
Except they've told us that. We've talked to them.
I have.
yeah, well, I know that the money, they were planning on using that USDA money.
Sure.
I think the farm to school program is a larger program. Different years, different money. Parts of the program.
You can just follow.
No, it's a good program.
Yeah.
You got to make uncomfortable.
Cuts.
We took through 50. The line 29, we were gonna agree with the House Commission on the DOT retrofit.
Okay. Which? wait,
This is I think we think it's same.
One time.
Is it on one time?
Line
Oh,
29.
that's why I'm not sheet. Okay,
We had put it back to 250. I think
Right.
we're at 300. So we're
right. And they told us that they only needed 200.
right.
So
You had
we will agree to reducing to the 200, which is the House position.
Yeah. We already said our position on the AG thing, no change there. No change on our sheriffs, wanting to keep one of the transport deputies. And we hadn't thought about the global commitment impact of moving that 2% rate increase
Mhm.
in November, so I think we can agree to do that earlier, especially if we can move some of the one-times to October,
Right.
so we can have that same funding.
Yeah, so keep that as starting July 1st. And we will also look at the one times to see what we can delay.
And there could be other base possible as well.
Right.
Next time we meet, we will have a childcare proposal, talk about all the different components of that, the 19 million, the 5.5% increase, all that kind of just presented as one proposal for you. And then Senator Lyons has some language.
Yeah, so
she'd
I
like
have
you to
a
consider.
language that, a section we can strike from the bill. Here. EP33.
Do you want to say anything about Senator Lyons or just? have one
I
read?
just said this is a continuing and an ongoing issue that we have passed legislation about a couple of times. And I think we've all heard about it. Just kind of,
So we've heard, do it this year, no, delay it till next year, no, do it this year. So what is the current, what are you proposing?
I am proposing that we not delay it any further and that we take out any delay language. So when we passed the bill initially, it came back the next year and there was a technical correction, which we made. Then it was delayed and now we're asking that we resolve this and just have it go.
So you want to just eliminate section E333?
That's exactly right.
Is there a cost?
Delete. I don't think there's a cost to it. I think the benefit will be,
There is not a cost associated. It's a time thing. So okay,
You can
we'll check. that.
consider that over your meeting.
Yeah,
Here's some other information. This is the spreadsheet that I said that Secretary Saunders had passed out
oh, yeah.
for FYI on the positions and the costs of the, so that's basically the 4 million plan. We won't even into that, which I think it should just put in the education transformation bill. we did get some information on the market fact assessment.
Yeah,
We got a quick answer that it would be 2 to 3 months that it would take. And they also thought that there was they thought they could build on the study that they had already done.
yeah.
I thought they could do it pretty quickly. There was some other positive news that I'm forgetting that they had passed along that seemed,
Can I just go back to this education?
yeah,
This doesn't add up to 4 million. Are they suggesting they can do it for us?
This is the first year.
um,
Is this the 1.5 million for year one?
no, they did have a table that had equal form. There was 2 1.5 million contracts. So this is showing, I think, only one.
Okay.
And there's also $500,000. Yeah. So this sheet does not actually have everything.
Okay. No, that's fine. If it's gonna be for education.
Yeah. Yeah, there was another contract for 1.5, and then there was like a $500,000 facility position, which I don't think is in here, or like that's not in here. Yeah, no, the facility person isn't. There was another chunk of $500,000 that got you to there.
So if this moves to the ed bill, we still have to fence off the money.
Yes.
This money has to be accounted for.
Yeah.
Did your committee take any kind of a position on all of these?
We just got this today. But no,
Okay, and if we fence off the money, either way, I think this needs to be in one time. Piece.
yeah, definitely. We agree, and it would be similar to the 10 million that's for H91.
Right.
We would just say.
H.454.
454, $4 million. And then.
And are we gonna, which is how it was,
We had it, right.
but would you do 4 million or would you just do the amount needed for next year?
I thought we'd just do the 4 million. And
Okay,
they would have.
I would want to keep the language that we have about, we need to have some clear plans. I'm not sure that this
Well, we could,
isn't really a clear plan. This is a description.
yeah, and so we could put that into well, you'd have to trust us. So the question is, do you want that in the budget? And that they have to come back to joint fiscal committee, or
We should go in the ed.
we could work with the ed bill. The ed bill will come to Senate appropriations.
Yeah,
So we could work up language that we agree to.
well, we had the language in the budget and you agreed to the language that we had in the budget, so you could just use that same language.
Yeah, there was some concerns about it, but that might work.
Well, maybe we talk with joint fiscal about the best to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we did get a request from the land use review board. We had moved some of I can't remember what the house position it was on this, but moving limited service positions to permanent classified positions. We moved to the district coordinators.
Is this on this?
I don't think it's on the sheet.
There's 150,000 base funding for existing limited service positions. Is that what you're talking about? D 713?
Yeah, they're existing positions, so the money should already be there. But it wasn't,
But they were classified, yeah, so there's no new positions. It says convert 2 positions to permanent. So that's what you're talking about.
yeah, so we would have some language to make sure that that's what our position was, but we didn't have the language, right?
Right, but it's not new positions.
Not new positions.
No, just changing
And,
it.
but also it changes it from, they're exempt, and they want them to move it to be classified. That's the thing that we didn't do, that we'd want.
Why did we want them to be
They
classified?
have other positions that are classified that do the same job. I don't know why they were originally created as exempt. We don't know. But they want all the positions that are doing the same work to be classified, not some be exempt and some be classified. That's my understanding. And my understanding is that they could work with the agency of administration and do this without legislation. But if we're going to make this change to make them permanent, and we're not opposed to them being classified, which I'm not opposed to. I'm open to hearing why somebody would be, but we were going to propose some language to clarify that they would be classified and permanent.
So how does it end up costing so much more money for existing positions?
Yeah, I don't. There's the $100,000. Is that separate than the $100,000 for the technical difference for the mapping?
Yeah, that's somewhere else. So that's the part that's been confusing me.
Okay,
Because suddenly somebody's gonna be making, like two people, might be making $75,000 more.
yeah, I guess.
So I guess I
But
need to
mine-
know where well, 26 on the top of this.
I mean, maybe we're just put it on there because we're changing the positions and that the 150, is it 150 that's new? I guess we'll have to ask our friends at JFO.
Yeah,
Come back and figure that out.
yeah.
Because I thought we weren't actually adding to the base. But this kind of makes
It
it,
had been ARPA funded. And
no,
that ends June.
The word is new, so I think. we should-
But no, the board is it's the same. It's the
Yeah.
it's the Natural Resources Board. It's got a new name.
Yeah,
That's all. So their existing positions,
Right.
limited service, don't know why.
they were ARPA funded positions. Which is my,
Okay,
is that why there would be an increase to the base? At 75,000,
Funding would be would be eliminated, the ARPA funding would be eliminated, and then additional general fund would be required.
and 150 would be for two positions.
so we need all the new money. And what were these positions doing? That's something we heard about in our committee, isn't
No,
it?
I don't remember this being an issue at all.
Why do we need to do this?
I think it's related to Act 181.
And mapping,
Well, the money is for the mapping, but it's all around the new tiers and then all the new Act 250 changes that were done and work that we gave the review board.
So position sheet, it's almost like there are two new positions, so it doesn't say two positions.
Of 11.
Yes.
It's converting two positions to permanent, but they'd be going away. It's not like.
Yeah, it
They were
looks like we're not,
They weren't.
Right.
That was
and this is,
just for,
Are they part-time positions?
I think so.
I don't understand how 150 can cover two positions. These days, if they're permanent, then they have access to all the benefits and the healthcare and the pension and.
we will do some more homework and.
Okay, that would be helpful,
Mhm.
because we never heard anything about it on our side.
Okay.
Classified.
That was everything that we had. on
Okay.
our sheet.
Okay. We have a lot, but we did agree that you said you proposed, house money, of 450,000 for USAR, search and rescue, and you wanted to keep it in the base
That's correct.
as opposed to one time. So we will agree with those two pieces, 450, but in the base.
Okay.
Okay. That's line 11. Do we have anything else? Is that the main thing?
Sure, we should order dinner.
We're looking up other things here too. Getting other information, but, what, do you have an opinion about the Montreal office or do you?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, you're okay with the Montreal
Yeah.
office? We'll do the Montreal office for 150 and one time.
Wrong time to be.
Take the Montreal.
Let's. Okay. So that's line 28.
What about this?
We did the environmental contingency. We did that at 2:30. We said we would agree with that. Okay. So I. Attorney General. I know. We're gonna have to talk to you more about the Attorney General. I think we will all agree to the home. Whatever, it's- home repair fraud coordinator. We definitely agree to that part of it.
Right.
That's all we can commit to at this point.
Hello.
And so I guess the only other thing back to the ed fund, because I think it sounds like we all agree of moving stuff over to the ed fund. That I don't know if we need to check with ed counterparts or other people
Yeah.
to ensure that we're making this up and whether it's going to create problems that we didn't anticipate. So, and maybe we chat with JFO about that too, but I mean, it sounds like we at least sort of agree about that.
Yeah, I think at least it would be good to talk to them and see if they want to take it into their
Yeah.
work on this.
Right.
overall.
Good.
Then
That's
our next meeting,
for 8:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll have.
8:30, 9:30, because I know you have
Yeah.
your
that's
committee
good.
at 9:30.
Right.
We have a
Good.
T-bill conference committee.
Yeah, and then I think we're meeting at noon for tomorrow, this committee is meeting again at noon, and then we'll see beyond that.
Okay.